So it was August 17th, 2012, and I'm sitting in JFK Airport after 30 hours flying from Nairobi to Cairo, and Cairo to New York, after spending 25 days in Uganda and Kenya. And I sat there, I was kind of in disbelief, because I went to Africa to bring computers to rural villages, to open up the internet to kids and young people that didn't have access to the greatest library in the world. And I thought I would observe poverty. And my idea of poverty in my head was equated almost to misery. Like, poor people were not happy. The people in my life that have the most inner peace are the ones that know three critical answers in their life. Is they know what they are. They know who they are. And the ones that really have peace know their why. They know why they exist. They know why they were put here. And you put those three things together, and those people walk this planet in peace, because no matter what anybody else tells them, they know who they are. I'm going to share some stories about some people I've met. The first one is this young man named Armstrong. I met Armstrong in a small town in Bali. I got $1,200 from Turkish Airlines for losing my bags. And I get to Bali and I meet this kid Armstrong, and the woman who brought me there says, there's this kid here. He's the smartest kid I've met since I've been coming to Uganda for the last 7 years, and he wants to become a pilot. I go back to now my ex-wife and I said, honey, I met this kid. He needs money. I didn't budget this money for this trip, and we really don't need it. Do you mind if I give it to him? And she said, let me meet him. And she met him the next morning. She said, okay, you can give him money. So I give Armstrong the money, and he leaves the next day. I go on the rest of my trip. About 2.5 weeks later, I land at Wilson Airport in Nairobi. And Armstrong knows what flight I'm on, because I'm coming back from the Masai Mara, got to see animals. I mean, everything, every animal you could ever imagine in Africa, crossing the Mara River, the whole deal. And I get back to the airport and there's Armstrong. Mr. Larry, Mr. Larry. And I'm like, hi Armstrong, how you doing? He says, I'm great, I passed my test. When you have purpose and you connect with others that have shared purpose, something magical happens. And that lesson is, no matter what your circumstance, you can still find joy. 2013, I go back to Opportunity Collaboration, and I meet this young woman. She was 27 years old. Her name is Carrie Rich. At 26, Carrie Rich was given $100 by her boss, Knox Johnson, for her birthday. He said, instead of me taking you to lunch, why don't I give you $100 and you go see what you can do with it. So she goes back and she starts writing an email to all of her friends saying, here's 6 charities I've chosen. I'm going to donate $1,000 each to each of these 6 different charities, and I'd like you to donate some money. So she sends it to everybody in her inbox. And a few weeks later, she gets an email from a philanthropist, a billionaire, that she had met at a conference for about 10 minutes. And it says, how do I donate $1 million to the Global Good Fund? I have this concept that I call the 20-something rule. And I believe that life teaches you who it wants you to be from birth to 20. And from 20 to death, you get to make a choice. Am I going to be what society taught me to be? Or am I going to be the person that I was born to be? Carrie Rich is one of those people. Carrie taught me something incredibly powerful, which is that my work needs to have meaning. The last story I want to share with you is Joe Delagrave. I'm in a clubhouse room and I said, I'm cycling with Challenged Athletes Foundation. This guy says, oh, I'm a challenged athlete. I'm like, what do you do? He says, oh, I'm on the wheelchair rugby team. And then he started talking to me about losing his identity when he didn't make the Olympic team as a 2-time World Player of the Year globally, because the coach of the team was his ex-co-captain who hated him and decided that he wanted to make his life miserable, and he did. He cut him from the team. And he lost his identity. And he talked those words. He said, I lost my identity for the 2nd time. So here's this man who's been broken and lost his identity multiple times. And I said, so how else do you make money? He says, I speak. And I asked a question that I knew the answer. Before I asked the question, I said, what do you speak about? What's your topic? And I knew he was going to say, overcoming adversity. 3 weeks later, he went to the White House and gave a speech. He said it was one of the best speeches he ever given in his life. This journey is an inward journey, not an outward journey. We're not trying to fix the world. We're not trying to make everybody better. We're trying to make ourselves feel better. We're trying to heal our own wounds. And this is the part of my life that I'm very clear about, is that the world is just unfolding. And the opportunity we have is to find joy and peace in every moment of every day.